So what are you guys training?
I'm training shoulders. Deltoids, 3D delts,
What are you
baby.
training with?
Rockage.
We're doing some anterior deltoids, some lateral deltoids, finishing with some posterior.
Deltoids. I'm just going to do a little bit of shoulders.
That's better.
I'm just going to get a pump. I'm going to get a light pump. We're going to talk about life's deeper issues. Have deep and meaningful conversations mid-set. Probably do about 3 or 4 sets of
Deep, meaningful conversations. And then we'll do a bit of
High volume crying, followed by a hand holding.
What's good, guys? Joseph and Robbie here. We're at City Athletic Club here in Las Vegas. About to get a deltoid and trap workout in, and then we'll finish off with some abs.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
We're doing seated dumbbell lateral raises here. Quite often I find myself doing standing dumbbell lateral raises, but I find that when you do this exercise from a seated position, you remove momentum from the lift, and you find that there's a lot more onus on the lateral head of your deltoid to do the work. Quite often you might find yourself getting onto your tippy toes or allowing momentum to bring the weight up. Doing it in a seated position places all that pressure and tension on the delt, which is where you want it.
Alright, second exercise now. We're doing shoulder press machine. The reason we're doing this machine is we don't have this at our normal gym. Slightly different, we're using quite a narrow grip, and it's going to be putting more stress and more emphasis on the front deltoid. So first exercise we did lateral raises, focusing mainly on the middle part of your shoulder, which is the lateral head. Now we're focusing on the front delts.
Hydration is critical. Always remain well hydrated at all times. Always have a water bottle on you at all times when you train. One of the strategies I implement when it comes to training my deltoids is using cables. Using cables as opposed to free weights ensures constant tension on the deltoid at all times. When you're going through a contraction phase, there's always going to be tension on the way up and on the way down. And I find that cables certainly helps in terms of building up the lateral head. I've also taken the handles off the cable so that I can hold the cable with my thumb pointing down at a 45-degree angle. And the reason I do that pouring the milk motion ensures that the lateral head of my deltoid takes the tension as opposed to the anterior head. Whenever we're doing pressing movements, whether it's dumbbell shoulder press, military press, or Arnold press, the anterior deltoid gets a lot of work. In order to create a more aesthetic, proportional physique, focusing on the lateral head. Pour the milk out, pointing the thumb down at a 45-degree angle as you come up.
Alright, so we're now on to our final exercise for shoulders. We've done the front deltoids, we've done the lateral deltoids, so now we're finishing off on some posterior. So we're working the back part of the shoulder right here. So as you can see on Robbie, this ball part in the back of the shoulder is what you're using to extend that weight out. Now usually myself, I don't actually train my posterior delts all that often because I find my posterior delts really overpower my arms and it actually makes my arms look pretty small. So I try normally, when I train my shoulders, I always just work my front delts and my lateral delts. But today I'm doing a bit of posterior.
I wish I had that problem.
Yeah, it's honestly a common problem. Most people always have underdeveloped rear delts, and they're always like, what do I do for my rear delts? What do I do? I actually have the opposite. My rear delts are too developed, and it makes my triceps look small. Like it pops out too much. And I honestly believe it's the way I train back. Like I think when I do a pull down, I bring my elbows back.
Yeah.
So it's really been hitting my, so even when I train back now, I really, focus on keeping my elbows in front of my body.
Yeah.
So it's less, more lats and less rear delts.
It's interesting.
I think he's just got small triceps for each.
That could be it.
But what do I know?
Honestly,
cameraman.
the best exercise ever for rear delts, which I never do, probably done it maybe once in my life, probably 2 years ago, is shrugs behind the back when you bend your elbows up. Alright guys, so that was our shoulder workout done. We finished off some traps. I'm pretty tired, didn't get much sleep on the plane ride, so I'm pretty exhausted. I do feel really drained, but I just had some pre-workout, so I'm most likely going to get back, lie in my hotel bed,
stare at the ceiling,
and stare at the ceiling for the rest of the night. And the worst thing is we're going to be out really early at 5:30 AM because we're catching a hot air balloon somewhere. So hopefully I can fall asleep. But all in all, that was a good workout. Shoulders had a beating.
Yeah,
now we're off.
Delt demolition, and now it's time to sleep.
But before we sleep, we're going to eat.